I think my viewpoint is the whole replacement analogy. Again, like it's not just AI. Like we've used this replacement concept dozens, if not hundreds of times before. And I think a lot of what's rooted in the replacement headlines is effectively fear mongering. It's to grab your attention. Like your job's going to be replaced. You should be worried. But the reality is like your job is not going to be replaced in the 98% case. Your job is going to evolve into something slightly different and probably have more opportunity than what you have today. And I think that's where we're at with AI assisted coding and software engineering. Is it's not going to replace software engineers. In fact, software engineers are more important than ever in this new era, because they're the ones that are going to architect the systems and harness the power of these new tools. But they're not going to go away. Like software engineers aren't going to just magically be wiped from the face of the earth or anything like that. It's still going to exist. I think the other thing that this author in this blog post highlights for me is at the very bottom, and I'll read it, which is, here's what the AI will replace developers crowd fundamentally misunderstands. Code is not an asset, it's a liability. Every line must be maintained, debugged, secured, and eventually replaced. The real asset is the business capability the code enables. If AI makes writing code faster and cheaper, it's really making it easier to create liability. When you can generate liability at unprecedented speed, the ability to manage and minimize that liability strategically becomes exponentially more valuable. This is particularly true because AI excels at local optimization but fails at global design. It can optimize individual functions but can't determine whether a service should exist in the first place or how it should interact with the broader system. When implementation speed increases dramatically, architectural mistakes get baked in before you realize they're mistakes. Effectively, like what the author is hitting home is something that I've always believed. And I have mentors that go way back to when I first became a software engineer, that the best software or the best code is the code that you never write. The best solution to a problem is the solution that does not require code to fix the problem, because code is a liability. And I think outside of the core like software engineering circles, many folks don't realize that, because you're building technologies, you're on the cutting edge of doing X, Y, and Z. But the reality is, for every line of code that you write is another line of liability that you now have, because you have to like maintain that line of code. And so when you're looking at business problems, some of the best solutions to business problems involve no code whatsoever. And I think that's what the author is getting at too, of like, sure, you can have an AI dream up this service to go build, and it goes and writes the code for that service in record time. But the AI is not asking, should that service exist in the first place? And that's where software engineers come in, is they have the overall view and are capable of architecting systems where they know if that service should exist or not. And so it all comes back to feeding your experience and your expertise back into AI to create the things that are useful, that solve the business problems, where code is needed to solve the business problem.